Hey guys, this is Stacy. I know the lighting isn't too great and I'm not really good at this, and you'll figure out why I have a can opener in a little bit. So, I just feel like I'm supposed to share some of my journal stuff that I do, and I just journal and ask God questions, and it's something that I've done for years now, and yeah, it's just really been good. So yeah, this is my journal. Can't really see super well, and it's going to be backwards, but it says, "Fear not, for I am with you," Isaiah 41:10. Anyway, let's get to it. So I've been really asking God a lot about purpose, and it's something that I've really struggled with for a long time, especially just self-hatred stuff, just thoughts of suicide at different times in my life, and just really struggling with this question of why am I here? I don't feel my value, my worth, the point, I don't get it. And I feel like a lot of people have this question. Anyway, so I got really rocked this morning, and I probably need to grab some tissues because I may cry some more, about what God told me. Hold on just a second. Or what I felt he said. And that goes back to the can opener. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so I was journaling, and one of the phrases that God put on my heart was my purpose, this idea of my purpose being found in your inside of your voice. It's not found inside my own voice, in my own head trying to figure it out, and that's kind of where I've been stuck. And I felt like when I started to shift my focus, just recently when I was really struggling with being self-focused, I started to point my energy out towards others. And I felt like this joy return to the inside. When I wander outside my voice, or your voice, God's voice, I'm just kind of reading from my journal, that's when I have trouble. I really do, because I try to figure it out, and I come to the conclusion that there's no point. So but the question was how can I possibly figure out my own purpose if I didn't make myself? And so then I started to think about that, and then here's where the can opener comes in. Okay, so then God started giving me this example. So it's like a can opener can only see its twisty thing. Let's say you're like looking, this can opener looks at itself, so it's kind of like a metaphor, go with me here, okay? So I was kind of like, if I was this can opener, and this can opener was animated, personification, right? It was just looking and saw this twisty thing, right? And it's wondering about how it's made. It's like, I have this propeller-like thing. I should be flying, right? But why do I keep getting picked up, spun in a circle, and set back down all the time? And I put, and it thinks it's not, it says it's like a can opener can only see its twisty things, and it thinks it's not designed, and it's not designed right because it should be flying. The can opener's perspective, though, isn't the total one. So all it can see is this thing being turned around and set down, just hypothetically, right? It doesn't understand. Why am I not flying yet? We eliminate the disappointment in the purpose of our life when we look to the one who is the designer. He has made the blueprints. It's like this can opener is arguing with the designer, saying, "No, I was made to fly in the air, deliver packages, etc." Something like that. And the designer, God, has made this to open cans. And it seems like an absurd example, but we do it all the time to ourselves, right? We do. God, and I started writing my journal, God, I give up. I'm that can opener. I see my feet and my hands, and I think this for me personally, I think I'm supposed to be doing something higher, with a higher calling. Like, I'm supposed to be doing missions or saving people's lives. Something greater, right? But I just can't see. I can't see And I repented. I was saying my vision is limited at best. It's true. But God sees the whole design, and I'm arguing with God. You see the can opener and are so desperate to show me how I'm actually made, where I'll actually work in line with the design you made for me. So I'm just reading what I said. But the can opener, we can't, but that can only come from God's perspective, seeing ourselves with the true design. But you're waiting for us to humble ourselves and stop arguing, and it will go so much better. What if we can just stop and ask to be shown from His perspective? And He will show us why we have these twisty things on us. Maybe it's not to fly, but to open cans. And He shows us our value and our function. Our value being even more important than our function is. And so I think we get that confused as our function equals our value, and our value is always first. Our function is always secondary, far secondary. So for example, it said the can opener, he loves the can opener as much as he loves the helicopter. So again, I'm giving more metaphorical examples. He didn't, and then this is where it really got to me, because he didn't die more for the helicopter than for the can opener. Because in our head we think, oh, helicopter, that's more important than a can opener is. But it wasn't cheaper to die, doesn't cheaper for Jesus to die for the can opener, and more expensive to die for the helicopter. So it wasn't cheaper to die for someone we think isn't as important, maybe ourselves, than it was to die for someone who'd be the president or invent really important things. And then this was what got me. He was saying, like, sin costs the same amount. Sin's price tag was equal for everyone. His blood was shed for all. More blood wasn't used for me than for him. It was the same price, the same value. So that was huge for me, because it levels the playing field, because it says in Scripture, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. This price tag was the same. So I felt like God said, so little, or just writing some more, so little can opener, discover why you were made a can opener and how you work, because you have great worth, the same worth. You are the most expensive can opener. And that's what he kind of was saying to me, is like, I'm this can opener, but I'm one of the most expensive can openers. Obviously, I'm more important than that, but it's in the metaphor, right? And I felt like the Lord again said this: the price tag for sin was the same. The price tag for redemption was the same. Therefore, the worth of everyone was the same. Because if you looked at, and I felt like the Lord gave me this picture of, He's like, I want to show you how you're made. And I felt like He wants to show us our worth. So I just saw, as a little can opener, trying to figure out what this propeller is for, right? And I saw a picture of this price tag being $1 million. It's like, but this price tag was $1 million, but this can opener was $1 million for me. And then He's like, showed me a picture in my mind of the helicopter and the price tag. He's like, but this helicopter was $1 million for me to purchase. Like, they're the same. They're the same. The can opener and the helicopter cost God, Jesus, the same. Me cost Him His whole life, His whole blood. And it cost Him His whole life, His whole blood, all of His blood for someone who we think is more important. But they're not. It was the same cost, which means it's the same value. If we pay a lot for something, it's worth more. But you paid the same for both. And that I just can't get my brain around, and I just want to throw that out there again. And I put I put some other things down, like there wasn't people made more in the image of God than others. No, all. He said all were made in the image of God. He's like, I don't love my image more over there in someone and less over here in someone. He's like, I can't love my image less. It's impossible for him to love it less. He loves it, period. He loves his image, period. And that really got me too. Because he doesn't love his image in me less than he loves his image in someone else. Because he can't love his image less. He doesn't have self-esteem issues, and he can't change the level of worth of his own value. So now it's an even playing field. Everyone's worth the same amount, right? Now it's just a matter of talking to God, who's the designer, so we can function the way we were designed to function. Because this can opener, because the way I was designed will be what I'm best at. This can opener is not going to be a helicopter. It can't be. It says a can opener can't fly. It wasn't happy wishing it was something that could fly. And if I tried, I wouldn't be able to. So again, it's kind of mixing those metaphors. But if this can opener was wishing it could fly and it just can't, it's going to be disappointed. It's going to be unhappy. It's wishing it's something that it can't be. And it says, I just keep, the can opener from the can opener's perspective, I just keep getting picked up and put back down. Picked up, put back down. Picked up, turned in a circle, and put back down. And I don't understand what's happening. What is the importance of this thing? I need to fly. This is not flying. I'm so frustrated. And also just the can opener saying that it's pretty much saying what I'm being used for doesn't have as much value. And saying when we make the statement that I wish that, from the can opener's perspective, I wish I could fly. Why am I not being used to fly? It's saying that we aren't as valuable as things that fly. Like little can opener saying, I'm not as valuable as the helicopter could be. So why am I not flying? And, it's saying that's the statement of value, but we remember what God just said. The price tag's the same. This can opener is just as expensive as the helicopter is. This can opener that doesn't fly is just as expensive and as important as the helicopter that does. We just need to stop and let God show us, and He will show us the price tag on us is the same as the helicopter. Like I said, your function doesn't determine your value or worth or your price tag. That is already set. That price tag was put on there before you ever actually operated in your function. As that price tag was figured out before the foundation of the world, when God knew that we would sin and fall short of His glory. So that price tag was put on each one of us before we ever opened a can, or before we ever made a flight, before we ever did anything. That price tag was put on us and we were purchased. He said He did it before the foundations of the earth. He died. He already knew He was going to die, and that would be the price for us. And I felt like the other thing God said was, as a designer, He can't make unimportant things. God doesn't make unimportant things. He doesn't make things that are worthless. He put a price tag on each one of us. So, I don't know. Hopefully that was helpful to you, because it really, really touched me, and it's hard to go back and kind of explain it, because in the moment it hits me more. I just want to pray. So, Jesus, I just thank You for this revelation that our value is the same. Our worth is the same. The world maybe not would see the price tags. The world can't see the price tags on each and every one of us. But You see the price tag. You see the value, and it's equal. Everyone has fallen short of the glory of God, and every price tag was the same. Every purchase was the same with Your blood, God. Everyone is on a level playing field. Everyone's worth is high, is so high, millions of dollars. What is the price of a life? God, you died, and your blood was wholly given for each person, not more blood for someone that is going to be more important one day, and less for someone who's not, quote unquote, going to do something that the world says is important. Because those price tags were set already before we could ever function in anything in this world. So Lord, thank you that you long to show us, you long for us to stop arguing with why are we not flying yet? What is this for? And that we would, and you're just longing to show us that how we were designed and our worth and how we were designed to function, because that's what we're going to be the best at. That's what we're going to be able to, as a can opener, we're gonna stop wondering while we're flying, and we're gonna ask you, God, what does it look like to be the best can opener, the best me in this time, right now, that I can be? Help me function in the way I was designed and in the way that you've called me to. Because in that's the way we're gonna be the most effective, the most successful, and the happiest, because we're in line with who you said we are designed to be. So let it be settled. Our worth is the same. We don't have to wish we were something else. We don't have to hope we were something else. We don't have to judge why we're not being used in a certain way. We get to be. We get to feel the value and worth of a God who's loved us, who died for us and rose again. And now, because we've accepted him, we can be with him. So, amen.